Every page of this book opens a doorway to wonder. A new world where children become explorers, dreamers, and heroes in their own right. Within these stories, you'll find talking animals, brave friendships, and magical surprises waiting behind every cloud, tree, and whispering breeze. Each adventure shows how imagination can turn an ordinary afternoon into something truly extraordinary. Whether it's a dragon who sneezes bubbles, a penguin who dares to surf, or a mouse outsmarting a snake, the world here belongs to every curious heart ready to believe. These tales invite you to slow down, smile, and remember the small moments that make childhood shine. The laughter after a tumble, the warmth of a hug, the sparkle of stars after a long day's play. So open the cover wide, take a deep breath, and step inside the world of endless possibility. The stories are waiting to begin, and the next great adventure starts with you. Story 1. The talking pet, Lila's parrot, Pickles, could say the usual things. Good morning, and want a cracker? But that was before the rainiest Tuesday in the history of Tuesdays. Lila had just moved to a new town where the school hallways felt like rivers of strangers. She plopped on her bed and whispered, "I wish I had a friend here." Pickles shuffled on his perch, cocked his emerald head, and said in a voice that wasn't just mimicry, "You do. You have me." Lila sat bolt upright. "Pickles?" "Present," he chirped, "and I do more than crackers." She blinked. "You understand me?" "I've been listening for years," he said, fluffing his feathers. "You've got a brave heart. It's just hiding under lots of maybes." That night, Lila confessed all the maybes. "Maybe I'll say the wrong thing. Maybe they'll laugh. Maybe I'll be invisible." Pickles hopped closer. "Lesson 1," he said. "Brave isn't loud. Brave is honest." They practiced. Pickles played teacher, quizzing Lila on introductions. "Hi, I'm Lila." "Good. Shoulders back, smile soft. Try again, with sparkle." "Hi, I'm Lila." "Sparkle." He even taught her emergency jokes. "What do you call a penguin in the desert? Lost." He cracked up at his own joke, a feathery laugh that sounded like wind chimes. The next morning, Lila tucked a tiny green feather into her pocket for luck. "You'll do great," Pickles said. "Remember, ask questions. People love to be seen." At recess, she noticed 2 girls sketching on the steps. Lila's pulse skittered, but she heard Pickles in her head. "Brave is honest," she walked over. "Your art is amazing. I'm Lila. I'm new and a little scared. Can I sit with you?" The girls looked up, brown eyes, blue eyes, and smiled. "I'm Rhea. This is Joy. We were just drawing superheroes." Rhea held up a cape-draped potato. "This is Super Spud." Lila laughed. "He needs a sidekick, Tater Tot." They drew, they giggled, they planned a comic about vegetables saving the cafeteria. At lunch, Lila found the feather in her pocket and pressed it to her palm. "Thank you," she thought. That afternoon, a boy in class dropped his pencil pouch and everything spilled. Lila knelt to help. "I'm Lila," she said. "Want to trade a jelly roll pen for a glitter marker sometime?" He grinned. "Deal." When Lila got home, Pickles was waiting. "Report, Agent Lila. I drew a superhero potato, made 2 friends, and organized a pen treaty." Pickles flapped triumphantly. "I knew it." Lila reached for him, and he hopped to her shoulder, warm and light. "How did you learn to talk?" she asked. Pickles blinked. "I listened so long to your brave heart trying to get out, I think some of it fluttered into me. That's how talking works. One heart opens and the other one learns how." Story 2. Runaway Realization. Max decided to run away on a Saturday after breakfast because nobody understands the deep suffering of a kid forced to clean under his bed. He packed a backpack with essentials: 3 chocolate chip cookies, a flashlight, a toy sword, a compass, which he didn't know how to read, and his most valuable treasure, his stuffed dragon, Ember. He paused at his fishbowl. "Bubbles," he announced solemnly, "if I don't return, tell my story." Bubbles blew exactly 2 bubbles. Max took that as a vow. He marched down the driveway, turned left, adventure always starts with a left in comic books, and kept going until the sidewalks changed to patches of dandelions. At first it was thrilling. He hopped curbs, named clouds, and brandished his sword at a particularly rude squirrel. By afternoon, the wind picked up. The first cookie was gone, evidence destroyed. A cloud muscled the sun aside, and the world tilted from movie to documentary. Max plopped on the curb to check his compass. It spun like a dizzy dancer. North is obviously everywhere, he muttered. He imagined night, owls with mysterious eyes, raccoons with bandit masks, shadows shaped like worries. He hugged Ember and ate the second cookie. Bravery snack, he said. It didn't work. As the sky bruised purple, headlights swept the street. A familiar car stopped and Dad climbed out, not angry, just gentle. He sat beside Max on the curb, like curbs were the natural place for conversations. Good place for a camp, Dad said. How far were you headed? Either the Arctic or Grandma's house, Max said. Whichever is closer. Dad nodded thoughtfully. Both have good snacks. He bumped Max's shoulder. You okay? Max's throat did a funny wobble. Cleaning is the worst. True, Dad said, like agreeing was a map. But adventure is better with a clean launch pad. They watched a bat flicker against the dark. Somewhere, dinner plates sounded like bell chimes. Can we go home? Max asked. Best idea I've heard all day. They walked back together. Inside, the house smelled like spaghetti and basil. Mom hugged Max extra long, like he might dissolve without it. At bedtime, Dad helped him look under the bed. They found dust bunnies, a fossilized gummy bear, and 6 lost socks. Ember was promoted to chief bedside guardian. Before lights out, Dad handed Max the third cookie. For completing your journey, Max broke it in half. For my co-explorer, they ate in companionable crumbs. Dad? Max asked in the dark. Yeah, kiddo. I think home is my favorite place to run to. Mine too, Dad said, and the room felt like a map with a bright red X where treasure lives. Story 3, the T-Rex who wanted to paint. In a valley of thunder feet and leaf-cracking jaws lived Terry, a T-Rex with a color problem. He loved them too much. While other dinosaurs competed in biggest roar or most impressive bite, Terry woke at dawn to watch the sky blush. Look at that, he murmured, the sun spilling orange like mango juice. He tried painting with berry juice on a flat stone, but his tiny arms kept dropping the brush. Dinosaurs snickered. Art is for butterflies, said Rexa the raptor. We hunt, we roar, we intimidate. Terry tied brushes to reed poles and anchored them to his wrists. He learned to paint with whole-body swoops and tail-tip taps. He ground charcoal for shadows, crushing it carefully with his mighty foot. The first time he painted a family of triceratops beneath a lavender dusk, the valley went quiet, as if listening. A stegosaurus shuffled closer. My plates look soft, she said, blinking. I didn't know they could. Word spread. Dinosaurs traded leaves, shiny stones, and rare ferns for portraits. Terry started a Saturday art circle. He showed ankylosaurs how to dab with tail clubs, and raptors how to scratch delicate lines with their claws. Art is hunting for wonder, he told them. We all can hunt that. One night the sky ripped open. A silver fire. The meteor blazed a fierce seam across the darkness. Dinosaurs panicked. Run! Hide! Scream! Terry looked up, heart pounding, not with fear, but awe. He anchored his canvas rock with smaller boulders, mixed sap with ochre and ash, to make a paint that captured glow. His reed poles trembled as he swept a long comet arc, then feathered sparks in quick flicks that glimmered even in moonlight. Rexa skidded beside him, panting. Have you lost your boulder? The sky is falling. It's falling beautifully, Terry whispered. Help me, quick. Your claws. Make starlight. And she did. Side by side, they painted what the world felt like. Wild and fragile and terrible and magnificent. When the fire faded, dawn spilled pale blue. The valley stirred. The painting pulsed on the stone. A memory for whoever came next. A long, long time later, small new creatures found the rock wall. They pressed their hands to its warmth and whispered, "Who made this?" Some said spirits, some said time. But if you listened closely, you could almost hear a mighty tail thump once, proud and gentle, and a voice say, "Hunt the wonder." Story 4. The dog in the Cape Benny was convinced he was a superhero. He had a red cape, a dish towel with heroic stains, a headquarters under the porch, and a mission: patrol Maple Street and protect it from villains like Mail Truck, Vacuum Monster, and Mysterious Tuesday Squirrel. Every morning he inspected his block with purposeful sniffs. He reunited socks with their humans, escorted toddlers from puddles, and issued stern warnings to Win, who kept stealing leaves without permission. One blustery afternoon, a sound sliced the air, a terrified meow. Benny's ears radar swiveled. Top of the oak tree, a kitten clung to a twig, tail quivering like a question mark. Benny sprinted to the tree. "Fear not, small citizen, Super Bark is here!" He leapt. Gravity chuckled. He fell back, cape flapping like a whoopee cushion. He barked the special alarm bark reserved for true emergencies. Mrs. Miller hurried out, apron flying. "Oh goodness!" She fetched a ladder, but the wind shoved the branches. The kitten yowled. "Hold steady, Super Bark," Mrs. Miller said, climbing carefully. Benny braced at the ladder's feet. He growled at the wind, low and serious, like a superhero negotiating with a dragon. The wind paused, just enough. Mrs. Miller reached, scooped, and cradled Kitten against her chest. The block applauded. Benny tilted his chin. The kitten meeped and booped his nose. "Citizens are safe," Benny declared, tail propellering. Word spread. Super Bark the brave, Super Bark the watchful. People started leaving him tiny medals. A peanut butter lid engraved with a lightning bolt, a ribbon from the school field day, a squeaky toy shaped like a star. He didn't need them. Heroism, in his opinion, was its own chew toy, but he accepted them with dignity. That night after patrol, Benny curled up on the porch. The kitten, now fostered next door, pitter-pattered over and kneaded his cape into a pillow. They fell asleep listening to crickets tuning their legs. Was Benny a superhero? He couldn't fly. He couldn't shoot laser eyes. But when trouble meowed, he showed up. He steadied the ladder. He barked down the wind. He shared his cape. Sometimes being super is just choosing to care with your whole, wagging heart. Story 5, The Pig with the Curly Tail. On Maple Farm, pigtails were supposed to be straight and sensible, like fence posts. Petunia's tail, however, was an elegant spiral, 1.5 perfect loops, like a cinnamon bun that had learned ballet. The other pigs snorted. "How do you balance with a twirly thing like that?" Petunia pretended not to mind, but she kept her tail tucked when she trotted past the trough. Different felt lonely. Farmer Joe wore a wedding ring that sparkled when he tossed feed. He liked to say it reminded him to choose love on long days. One hot afternoon, as he filled the water trough, the ring slipped, plink, down the drainpipe. "Oh, beans," he said, peering into the narrow grate. He tried a magnet on a string. No luck. He tried long, skinny tongs. Clink, clank, nope. The pigs gathered, sniffing the problem. Petunia stepped closer. Farmer Joe," she said in her softest oink, "my tail, it's kind of good at spirals." Joe knelt, eyes kind. "Petunia, I'd be honored." She breathed in, breathed out. Slowly she threaded her curly tail into the narrow pipe. The cool metal tickled. She wiggled, listening with her whole body. Something glimmered below. Gently she twisted. The spiral caught. She lifted, careful as sunrise. Plink! The ring tumbled into Joe's palm. He whooped so loudly the chickens' gossip fluttered. "Petunia, you marvel!" He slipped the ring back on and wiped his eyes. "I'll never forget this." The other pigs crowded around. "Your tail is a tool." "No, a treasure." "No, a twirly treasure tool." Petunia laughed, really laughed, and let her tail spring free, spiraling like joy itself. Different didn't feel lonely anymore. It felt like purpose with a flourish. From then on, whenever something rolled into not quite reachable places, marbles under the feed shed, a key behind the hay bales, a button in a crack, Petunia was called. She still tucked her tail sometimes on shy mornings, but mostly she let it shine, catching sunlight in its loops. On warm evenings, Joe would scratch behind her ear and say, "Turns out the farm needed a little swirl," and Petunia, tail curled like a signature, believed him. Story 6, The Sneezing Crocodile. Carl, The crocodile lived in the warm green swamps of Willow Bend, where the reeds sang in the wind and dragonflies danced above the water. He had everything a crocodile could want: sharp teeth, a cozy mud bank, and a perfect spot for sunbathing. But poor Carl had one terrible problem. He couldn't stop sneezing. It wasn't just a little achoo, it was a chew, so loud that frogs leapt clear out of the water, birds scattered into the sky, and turtles pulled their heads in for safety. "Bless you," croaked Marvin the frog from his lily pad. "Sorry," Carl groaned, rubbing his long snout. "I've tried everything, stuffing moss in my nose, holding my breath underwater, even sleeping upside down." Nothing worked. The sneezes kept coming. At breakfast, achoo, and lunchtime, achoo, and even at night, achoo, echoing through the swamp like thunder. Eventually, the other animals started avoiding him. "Too windy," the frogs muttered. "Too splashy," said the ducks. One lonely afternoon, Carl sat by the riverbank, chin on his claws. "Maybe I'll just float away," he sighed, but then his nose twitched again. "Oh no, not now!" He tried to stop it, wiggling his toes, crossing his eyes, but the sneeze burst out anyway, bigger than ever. "Achoo!" The gust blasted a huge log across the river, right where the monkeys had been trying to cross for weeks. They stared, wide-eyed. "A bridge!" cried Miko, the smallest monkey. "Carl, you did it!" The monkeys clapped and danced, swinging across the new bridge. Soon everyone was using it. Deer, turtles, even a family of ducks. Carl blinked in surprise. "My sneeze helped?" From then on, Carl's sneezes weren't a nuisance. They were a gift. Need a path cleared? Achoo! Want to shake fruit from a tall tree? Achoo! And every time he sneezed, someone shouted, "Bless you, Carl the bridge builder." Carl grinned his toothy grin. Guess I just needed to blow things in the right direction. Story 7. The Magic Train. Every night at exactly midnight, a whisper of silver smoke curled down Cherry Blossom Lane. If you were awake and brave enough to peek through your curtains, you might see it, the magic train. It shimmered softly, as if made from moonlight and laughter, and no one knew where it came from. One night, a curious girl named Emma couldn't resist. She tiptoed outside in her pajamas, clutching her teddy. "Hello," she whispered. The train's doors slid open with a gentle whoosh. Inside, lights twinkled like stars, and the seats looked as soft as clouds. "Welcome aboard, dream traveler," said a voice that sounded like wind through chimes. Emma stepped inside. The moment she sat down, the train gave a happy toot and began to glide through the sky. They soared above rooftops, through misty valleys, and across oceans that shimmered like glass. Their first stop was the land of laughter, where the air itself giggled. Trees told jokes, rivers bubbled with chuckles, and even the flowers snickered when you tickled their petals. Next came the Valley of Rainbows, where waterfalls poured in every color and children rode slides of light. Then they reached the Mountain of Music, where every stone hummed a tune. Birds sang harmonies and clouds twirled like dancers. Emma joined in, singing softly, her voice blending with the magic of it all. Finally, the train slowed beside a shining lake that reflected the stars. "Time to head home," said the gentle voice. "Dreams can't last forever, but their songs stay with you." When Emma woke in her bed the next morning, her teddy still smelled faintly of starlight. On her pillow lay a golden ticket that read, "Ride again anytime you dream." From that night on, she couldn't wait for bedtime. Every dream was a new stop on the magic train. Story 8. The Detective Mouse Monty. The mouse ran the smallest and smartest detective agency in the pantry, Tiny Paw Investigations. His motto was simple: no crumb left behind. One sunny morning, disaster struck. The family's prized cheddar block had vanished overnight. The mice were in a frenzy. "It was the cat!" squeaked one. "No, the humans!" cried another. Monty straightened his tiny coat and adjusted his button magnifying glass. "Facts, everyone. Let's follow the clues." First stop, the scene of the crime. Crumbs everywhere. But they were tiny crumbs, much too small for a cat's paw. Monty sniffed the trail. It smelled like peanut butter? Odd. He followed it through the flour sack alley, over the sugar hill, and down into the napkin tunnel. There he found a familiar face, his cousin Pip, napping beside a suspiciously cheesy breakfast. "Pip," Monty gasped. "You took the cheddar." Pip rubbed his eyes. "Borrowed. I was hungry and meant to bring it back." Monty sighed, tapping his paw on the ground. "You can't just borrow evidence, Pip. That's a federal pantry crime." Pip's ears drooped. "Sorry," Monty smiled. "Justice is about fairness, not punishment. Next time, ask and share." They returned the cheese, mostly intact. And Monty wrote his report. Case solved, lesson learned, snack shared. That night, as the moonlight gleamed on the flour sacks, Monty hung a new sign over his office. Now hiring, assistant detective, must love cheese. Pip grinned. "Can the pay be cheddar?" Monty chuckled. "Half cheddar, half adventure." And with that, the pantry was safe again. Story 9. The Ghost Who Hated Halloween. Boo the Ghost had a big problem. He hated Halloween. Every year it was the same. Kids in costumes shouted "boo" at him. Can you imagine? "It's so rude," he huffed, floating in his attic. "I'm the original Boo." One October evening, he peeked outside. The street sparkled with orange lights and laughter. "Maybe I'll just, see what all the fuss is about." He found an old cowboy hat, a scarf, and a toy sheriff badge, then floated among the trick-or-treaters. "Nice costume," said a little vampire. "Cool ghost outfit," laughed a witch. For the first time, Boo didn't scare anyone. They welcomed him. He followed them from door to door. People handed him candy without realizing he wasn't wearing a sheet. It was him. He even made friends with a pirate named Max, who shared his chocolate bar. When the night ended, Boo sat on a park bench, unwrapping candy under the moonlight. "Maybe Halloween isn't about being scary," he said. "Maybe it's about joining the fun." From then on, Boo became the official friendly ghost of Maple Street. Every Halloween, he helped decorate the haunted house and made sure the littlest trick-or-treaters got home safely. Turns out, when you stop haunting and start helping, the world gets a lot sweeter. Story 10. The simple things Liam loved gadgets. The louder, brighter, and newer, the better. When he saw an ad for the latest video game console, he had to have it. But when his parents said money was tight, Liam pouted. "Then what are we supposed to do for fun?" That night, a storm rolled in. Lightning flashed, thunder rumbled, and the power went out. No screens, no music, just silence and the steady beat of rain. Liam's little sister grabbed a flashlight. "Let's make a fort," she said. They dragged chairs and blankets into the living room, turning it into a castle. Inside, they told ghost stories, made funny shadows, and laughed until their sides hurt. When the rain stopped, they stepped outside. The air smelled clean and sweet. Fireflies blinked like tiny lanterns. Liam grabbed a jar and whispered, "Let's catch the stars." By the time the power came back, the fort was glowing with captured light. Liam sat quietly, watching the fireflies drift inside their jar. "This," he said, "might be better than the new game." His sister nodded. "Told you, the best things don't plug in." Liam smiled, letting the fireflies go. Some nights, simple was exactly what he needed. Story 11, Fun Without Money. Summer had arrived and Ava was sure it was going to be boring. Her friends were all off to theme parks and beach vacations, while her family stayed home. "We don't have money for big trips this year," her mom said gently, "but we'll still make memories." Ava frowned. "Memories don't sound fun." The next morning, she woke to the smell of pancakes. "Grab your backpack," her mom said. "Adventure day." Their adventure? The backyard. "Not much of a trip," Ava muttered, but her mom only smiled. Every adventure starts small. First, they built a tent out of old sheets. Then they roasted marshmallows over a candle and made up spooky stories. Ava laughed so hard she almost knocked the tent over. On Tuesday, her dad helped her draw chalk streets all over the driveway. She made shops, a zoo, and a rainbow diner. Soon the neighborhood kids came, riding bikes down her chalk roads, pretending to order ice cream from her imaginary shop. By Friday, Ava's calendar was full. Bubble Olympics, Puddle Jump Championship, and Firefly Parade. Her favorite was backyard movie night. They projected a film on a bed sheet, shared popcorn, and cuddled under blankets as crickets sang. When school started again, her friends bragged about their trips. "Where'd you go?" one asked. Ava thought for a moment. "Everywhere that matters," she said, smiling, and it didn't cost a thing. That night, she pinned a note to her wall. "Happiness isn't bought, it's made." Story 12, Where Unicorns Live. Maya loved unicorns more than anything. She drew them, dreamed about them, even whispered to the stars, "Show me where you live." Everywhere she looked, she searched, under rainbows, behind waterfalls, through misty fields. But no unicorn ever appeared. One day, while walking home from school, she saw a small boy crying by the road. His ice cream had splattered on the pavement. Maya hesitated, then handed him her own. "Here, I can get another someday." The boy sniffled and smiled. "Thanks." That night, something magical happened. As Maya brushed her hair, she noticed a tiny silver sparkle on her sleeve, like stardust. She looked out the window and gasped. Hoof prints glowed faintly in the moonlit grass leading to the garden. She followed them barefoot. At the center, beneath the flowers, stood a unicorn. Pure white, mane glowing like morning. "Why me?" Maya whispered. The unicorn's voice sounded like wind through bells. "Because kindness is where we live. Every generous heart builds a doorway for us." Then it bowed, leaving behind a single shining hair that shimmered with color. When she touched it, warmth filled her chest, joy, calm, and courage all at once. From that night on, Maya didn't search for unicorns anymore. She made them appear every time she shared kindness. Story 13, All the Ways to Say, "I Love You." Mia used to think "I love you" only came in words. Then one week, she started noticing something different. Her mom said it with pancakes shaped like hearts. Her dad said it when he fixed her bike so she could ride again. Her grandma said it in hugs that smelled like cinnamon cookies. Even her dog said it, wagging so hard his tail became a blur every time she came home. At school, her teacher said it by keeping the light on late so Mia could finish her drawing. Her best friend said it with a high five when Mia aced her spelling test. That weekend, Mia decided to try saying it her own way. She spent the morning drawing everyone she loved: Mom, Dad, Grandma, her dog, her teacher, and her best friend. Under each picture, she wrote a different message. "Thank you for breakfast. Thanks for fixing my bike. Thanks for believing in me." When she gave them out, everyone smiled, and her mom kissed her head. "This might be my favorite 'I love you' ever." That night, Mia thought about how love came in so many forms. Pancakes, repairs, hugs, wagging tails, and little drawings. She whispered into the quiet, "I love you too, world." And outside, the stars twinkled back, like they'd been waiting to say it first. Story 14, The Magic Coin. Noah found it in the grass near the playground. A golden coin, brighter than any he'd ever seen. It gleamed as if the sun itself had hidden inside it. When he flipped it, a whisper echoed in his ear. "Wish wisely." "Cool," he said. "I wish for pizza." Moments later, the pizza truck turned the corner. Noah's mouth fell open. "No way," he tried again. "I wish for new sneakers." A gust of wind blew, and a flyer fluttered into his hand. "Sneaker giveaway. Today only." For a week, Noah used the coin for small wishes. Sweet treats, sunny weather, extra time for video games. But one afternoon, his friend Lily came to school sad. "My puppy's sick," she whispered. Noah's heart ached. He pulled out the coin. "Please," he said softly, "make Lily's puppy better." The coin glowed warmer than ever, then faded to silver. The next morning, Lily ran to him, smiling. "He's okay. He's wagging and eating again." Noah reached into his pocket, but the coin was gone. In its place was a small note. "The greatest magic is kindness." He smiled. "Guess I don't need the coin anymore." And for the first time, he didn't wish for anything, because his wish had already come true. Story 15, The Invisibility Cloak. Jaden was rummaging through his attic when he found a dusty old blanket folded in a trunk. "Looks ordinary," he said, until he pulled it over his head and vanished. He gasped, "I'm invisible!" At first, it was the best thing ever. He snuck extra cookies, scared his sister with floating shoes, and spied on the family cat. But after a while, it wasn't so fun. Nobody talked to him. Nobody laughed with him. He was alone. One evening, he overheard his mom's worried voice. "I can't find Jaden anywhere." He wanted to shout, "I'm right here!" But the words stuck. He saw her pacing, wringing her hands, and his chest hurt. He pulled off the blanket. "Mom!" She turned and hugged him so tightly he couldn't breathe. "Don't ever disappear like that again." That night, Jaden folded the cloak neatly. "I thought being invisible was cool," he said, "but I miss being seen." His mom smiled. "Sometimes the greatest magic is letting the world know who you are." Jaden nodded. He still kept the cloak, just as a reminder that real magic wasn't hiding, but belonging.